Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America. And hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And today I have a card. So I've got a couple different cards. Sorry, I'm just getting out my sheet here so I can give credit to the right person. I watched a video by Sally Poole, another demonstrator, and made this card. And I thought originally that it was going to be part of my monthly medley card class that's coming up on Saturday. But as I was getting ready for that class, I decided to swap out a different one. So I decided to show you how to do this one today. In particular, these flowers. So if you're here, please say hello in the comments, either if you're watching live or on replay on Facebook or on YouTube. I love to see who's following along. And yeah, hello Gladys. Thanks for joining me today. Yeah, so this is a multi-layer card. It features the Hello Irresistible collection or suite of products, which includes some neat designer series paper and this bundle of Irresistible Blooms stamps and dies. I love these little asymmetric polka dot cutting dies. I haven't done much with the long one, which surprises me, but I've used this one quite a bit. So, and that's one that we're going to use today, as well as a couple of flower outlines and these leaf dies. So there's a lot of steps involved. I hope you stick around for the whole thing, but it will take a little while to get through all of it. So let's get started here. I'm going to start by showing you how to get this vellum, and let me pull this up a little bit higher. Let me see if you can see them a bit. So this is our vellum, and I've colored it with our Stampin' Blend markers, which are made with alcohol ink, and then I've used rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, to blend the colors together. And so I'm going to start by showing you how I do that. And I'm going to try to make a sheet that's going to work well with the soft seafoam and Lost Lagoon Parakeet Party piece of the Hello Irresistible designer series paper. And I'm using the blended side without any other prints on it. Yeah, so I'm going to bring in a piece of our white vellum cardstock and the blends, and I'm just going to start putting scribbles of ink on. And these are the darks, because when you add the alcohol and on this light vellum, you're going to want the more intense tones. And I'm going to put in some pretty peacock. This one's actually the light one. Having said that, with the darks, this is already so dark. And now I'm going to add in some Daffodil Delight. Even though it doesn't show up on that designer series paper, just to add a little, not contrast because it still goes with it, but just to zhuzh it up a little bit, brighten it up a little bit. And I may come back and add some bubble bath. We'll see, just to really contrast it a bit. So now I'm going to put some paper towel under it, and I've really been trying to minimize how much paper towel I use, but that really is the best thing. So in the United States, I imagine Canada too, a lot of other places, it's really easy to get isopropyl alcohol. Here in Australia, it's not restricted, but it's not, you know, there aren't rows and shelves of it in all the drugstores the way there is in the US. So let me tell you, if you're in Australia, I found this one at JCar, which is an electronics store. I also know that Bunnings carries a 90 to 99% alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. Isocol that you can get at the pharmacy or probably the grocery store is barely 70%, and it's got something else in it, and it won't work the way you want it to. So you really do need to seek out the 99% alcohol. So there's sometimes when I do use this as a spray, and it's nice that it's got the spray attachment in there. I haven't tried it, and I might here in a minute. This is the way Sally was showing, was putting some into a little container and using a brush. Let me just for fun try it as a spray, at least initially, and see what we get, because that could answer a lot of issues I was having before. And you can see it's already starting. Maybe you can see. Whoops, let me try to get that to focus again. There we go. It's starting to bubble up. I think maybe we'll bring in the brush. So the trick is going to be to get it to blend without getting muddy. So I know she did some big bubble effects by flicking some. And then if you just pounce it on there. And again, I want to get enough that it's blending, but not getting muddy. And my brush is starting to disintegrate a little bit. You just, cheap craft brushes. Please do say hello if you've joined me. Love to know who's watching. And I'm going to help this dry here now. I'm bringing in my heat tool. Once I find it here. That's getting there. Okay. I am going to add a bit more color because I've got a lot of places where the soft sea foam, I'm not too surprised. It really went down to about nothing. So I'm going to bring that in just to get a kind of idea of the colors I'm working with. just thinking a little bit about what would be good to put on there to get a little more green going. I'm going to try some lemon lime twist, I think. And I'm also going to put in a shot of pink. Again, this is Bubble Bath. Just to add a little something. And again, I'm going to try spraying first. And I'm going to stop there. Just gonna dip my brush in here to get it kind of cleaned off. And now I'm going to help this dry a little bit again. Okay. Now, get that out of the way. And the next thing to do is to glue that to a piece of basic white cardstock. How's that? Now remember, you're going to see the colors, but they're not, it's okay that they're not exactly matchy-matchy because there's going to be a lot of other stuff going on. But that's going to be pretty interesting, I think, to make those flowers. Hi, Lorraine. Thanks for joining me today. Okay, so there are two ways, I think, to put the vellum on there. Because we're going to be die cutting it, we want the whole thing stuck down. We don't want to just put dabs of adhesive various places because it'll come apart when we die cut it. So one of the ways to do it is to take our glue and put a pile of it on here and pick it up with some sponge and rub it all over. And I did that with my first one. And then I thought, you know what? We've got this other tip on our glue, which we often forget about because we use the pointy end so often, but we do have this flat end. So if I can get the glue, to come out here, I have found that this actually works quite well to get a nice thin layer all over. You have to work a little bit quickly because you don't want it to dry up too much. before you get it stuck down. And then I don't have to wash out the sponge or anything. Okay, let's give that a go. And you want it to be, you know, kind of as straight as possible, but if it doesn't quite line up, it's okay. Again, we're die cutting it. So the side that I applied the alcohol ink markers, the Stampin' Blends to, is facing up. And the back side is down. If you want to be sure it's well adhered, you use your bone folder. There we go. Now she talks about letting it dry. She lets it dry for quite a while. A lot of times if I want to let it dry, sorry, just hit something, there we go. I'll bring out my really big block and put it down if I have a question of it rolling up. This one looks like it's doing really well. I am going to set it aside though to dry with that block on it for a little bit, and we're going to work with this one that I made the other day just to be sure. And I have layers for it all cut here. Find all my layers. There we go. And this one is going to use this designer series paper. And you can see I've got some pretty dark colors, but I think it's gonna look really interesting. I'm sorry. Siri thinks I was talking to her, but I wasn't. So let me get those out of the way. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in our flowers and my embossing buddy. And hello, Wergie. You are the queen of working with the alcohol and the alcohol ink. So I've just been doing some of that. And now we're going to stamp with the Versamark some of these flowers. I know you can't see these, but happily I can. So I try not to get them overlapping. Trying to get interesting parts of the alcohol ink in them, or at least what I can. Okay, and I'm going to bring in my gold embossing powder. And I'm going to drop the cardstock on the floor. At least it landed right side up. gonna go get a brush here in a moment, help clean it up a little bit, because I can see. Could use a little help. Be right back. Again, I'm die cutting them, so I'm not super concerned about a lot of this excess, but I do want to make sure that right around where I'm going to be die cutting, we're not getting a lot of extra messy stuff. You know, I could just brush off where I want it. Okay, let's call that good. Okay. Good morning, Jenny. Thanks for joining me. I think that's pretty cool. So now to cut them out. I'm gonna bring this in. We'll see how we go. Question is, do I have enough washi tape? Probably not. Oh my goodness. There's 1, 2, yes, I mentioned to people you could get the alcohol from Bunnings or I got mine at JCar because Bunnings is Bunnings is not easy. Well, it's not hard to get to for me, but J-Car is barely a 10-minute walk for me. So when I found it there, I was very happy. Yep, that piece bit the dust. Okay. There's that. And while I have the machine in place, let me show you how I got these leaves. You can see I've got this layer of the distressed gold paper. And what I did was on the back, right in the middle, because it's going to be covered up, I put some adhesive sheet. So now I'm just going to cut out a bunch of leaves from within that spot. And I can feel it where it is. So I can lay these in within there and get a whole bunch of leaves. And I didn't bring my brush over, but I will use my take your pick. And get them all cleared out of there. I may just go grab my brush because that's faster. So if you don't have the brush tip for your take your pick tool, highly recommend it, because it gets 99% of them out really easily. I still have my old version, so I haven't replaced it because it's still working. I am very much a frugal and practical crafter. I don't see a need to replace things when they're still working just because there's a new version out. So but if you don't have that's not on there. Okay. Then I do highly recommend one more pass through and we will have enough to make this card. let's pass with this. Oh, I know the other thing we need to do with that cut and emboss. I will bring that back in a moment. Okay, those are done. Put that aside. Bring that back. Okay, so now we're going to make the top layer for our card front. And you just center that. Just eyeball it to center it. There we go. And it comes quite clean, quite easily. I'll show you here. There it is. And then I'll just brush these off the way I find it's easiest to get stuff off. I just use one plate to scrape the other one right into my recycling bin. And now I'm going to emboss it with this time-worn type embossing folder. Get it mostly straight and level. And there we go. Okay, let's make a card. So I have a very vanilla card base, and we're going to start, come here, putting that one on it. You can see here's my adhesive sheet. I didn't get it all the way on, but that's okay. It's going to be enough to make it easy to stick them down. And then that's going to get covered up with this piece. Yep. Now, this piece is smaller than the top piece, because we want it to cover up. There we go. And I'm going to do just a few of those to get them stuck down too. And I know what I should have done first, but we're gonna make it work. I'm just sure we are. Oh. I should have embossed this piece before I did that. See how I've got the hello and it's embossed? I should have laid it all out and stamped it and then embossed it and then started gluing. But I didn't, so now we're going to figure out another way to do it. I'm going to keep going and we will figure this out. I've got some ideas, not to worry. So now we start laying these out. This one is so green. But I think I have to keep them all from the same pieces or it's just going to look weird. And we'll get some of these going. I do like to lay everything out before I stick it down. Just so I know that I like it. What do you think? So I'm bringing in my press and seal. And unlike other times, I'm not picking up everything, at least I'm trying not to. I'm really just trying to pick up the flowers because I want the leaves to stay where they are. Mostly. So that I can stick them down. Remember, they've got the adhesive sheet on the back. Thanks, guys. Glad you like how it's looking. I just love using the adhesive sheet, especially things that are such fine die cuts. Makes it much, much easier to stick them down. this one. That one I'm going to hold off just a second until I get these put down. And these, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And I should now be able to lay them on there in a way that makes sense. Let's see what we've got. Yep, and now this one I'm going to slide right in there. And now I'm going to figure out my hello. I'm going to bring in a scrap of the petal pink and my embossing buddy. Those of you who don't know, the embossing buddy is filled with like cornstarch or talcum powder or some such thing. And it takes any static that might be on the paper and any oils from your fingers and neutralizes it so you don't get a lot of stray embossing powder on your cardstock. And let me bring this back in. There is always a way to work it out. Okay. Now, I know I have fussy cut this out before, so hopefully I've got a good steady hand and a good eye, and I'll be able to do it pretty well. I like sometimes to give a rough cut, and then I'm not dealing with so much. I'm not chattering so much today. I'm concentrating. So please, talk amongst yourselves. go. Go, that's a bit better. Oh my goodness, sticky stuff. And we'll put that on with a couple of mini dimensionals. Yeah, the press and seal, it once you get in the habit, you miss it when you don't have it with you. There we go. And where are these? Here we go. We're going to add some bling, not very blingy bling, but we're gonna add some embellishments. So these are the milky dots. And these are the, what did they call these? Loose frosted dots. These are part of this suite. These are not, but I like the white ones with this. Let's see how we go here. Again, I lay these out before adhering them. Just to get a good sense. Since these are adhesive, I just don't press them down. I know I'm blithering. Trying to figure what else I need. Need something. Anyway, we're going to start with those. Hi, Leslie. Thanks for joining me. You can use just the tiniest little dots of glue and get these stuck down. There we go. And then I'm going to show you, I do the inside as well on this one. And this is just another layer of Petal Pink and Very Vanilla. And a few more leaves. And that way we use everything that we cut out. Just hold that for a moment there. And there we go. So that's that card. Here's the one I made the other day. Still think it needs another something. There we go. This one I did almost every one, and that's a little too much, I think. I think I like that better. And I am going to go ahead off camera and make up this one. If you've come late, you can go back on the replay and see how I made that sheet that I'm going to do with these layers. And like I said, I'm going to do that off camera now, and then look on my blog post to see how that one turned out. Yeah, if there is anything I can help you with here in Australia, please do get in touch, make comments on my Facebook page or on the YouTube video or on the blog post. Send me an email. You can find links to everything at nancysniftynotes.com. Feel free to get in touch anytime. But I will be back same time, same place next week, and I hope you'll join me. Thank you. Bye-bye.